Hi, my name is David, and you're watching the The concept of teleportation can be traced back as early as 1877 in Edward Page Mitchell's story The Man Without a Body, where a scientist invents a machine that allows him to break down a cat into an atomic level, transmit them via a wire to a receiver, and perfectly reassemble it back alive. Although the concept was fairly new at this point in time, the idea of teleportation became popular in the 1950s, appearing in several novels and short stories. The term teleportation itself was used in a book written by Charles Hoy Fort called Lo, published in 1931. Now, to be clear, there should not be any confusion between teleportation and telekinesis. Telekinesis can be seen in any various ancient cultures, as it was attributed to one of many powers that ancient gods possessed in many of these ancient cultures. To make things clear, let me define the word teleportation. 1. The act or process of moving an object or person by psychokinesis. 2. Instantaneous travel between two locations without crossing the intervening space. The difference between the two is that one is caused by apparitions or other unearthly forces, and the other is a result of advancement in science that supposedly abide by the rules of physics. Although the concept of telekinesis is seen in many literatures and films, for the purpose of this video, we will be strictly sticking to the second definition of teleportation. So, is teleportation actually possible, or is it just a mere concept that can only be achieved in science fiction stories? Teleportation can be categorized into two main groups, self-generated teleportation and machine-assisted teleportation, and categorized into 6 different types: psychic, biological quantum, exotic, sci-fi, vacuum-metric, and quantum entanglement teleportation. Sci-fi teleportation, also called classical teleportation, is probably the one we are most familiar with. It is the one we see in pop cultures like Star Trek, where characters are moved from point A to point B without having to physically move through the space. The concept of transporting someone or something across space via advanced technology is fascinating. But is it possible to achieve this? The short answer is no. Let's say we were to teleport myself from point A to point B. To do this, I have to scan myself right down to the quantum level in point A and perfectly put back every particle exactly where it is in point B. This is due to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, and the mere act of scanning my body will alter the results. Such a scan can cause some of the particles in my body to change the position or the momentum. Alternatively, we could scan my body from point A and perfectly replicate it in point B and kill the old version of myself, but either way, I would have already been dead while being scanned, so the answer is still no. Remember that awesome scene from Marvel's Doctor Who, where sorcerers create portals to teleport from one place to another with the help of a TARDIS? To all the triggered Doctor Who Loki and Strange fans out there, I apologize. But what these doctors are doing to travel from one place to another is called VM, or vacuum-metric teleportation. These doctors manipulate the space-time by creating a wormhole and use it to travel from one place to another. These characters alter the space-time metric to move a person or an inanimate object across space. Seems possible, but I'd say only in fiction. This type of teleportation is most likely to be achieved, as there have been several studies and experiments indicating the success of teleporting quantum information across several kilometers. Now, the definition of quantum entanglement teleportation goes as such: the disembodied transport of the quantum state of a system and its correlations across space to another system, where a system refers to any single or collective particles of matter or energy such as protons, neutrons, leptons, photons, atoms, ions, etc. In other words, quantum teleportation is a procedure remotely copying the exact quantum state of one particle to another while destroying the original state. There is no transfer of a physical object, although a pair of entangled states need to be distributed ahead of time. It is one of 2 teleportation talked about in this video that actually is happening and can happen right now. Remember in Star Wars where Jedi and Sith Lords moved objects using the Force to communicate with midi-chlorians, allowing them to use the Force if they were sensitive enough to its powers? Well, This is an example of a psychic teleportation. A psychic teleportation is the conveyance of persons or inanimate objects by psychic means. Basically, another fictional concept. The other teleportation in this list that is actually happening every day. Biology and quantum mechanics are two subjects that do not go together. Well, up until recent decades, signs of quantum mechanics have been found in biological machinery. So, biological quantum teleportation refers to the application of quantum mechanics and teleportation as well as theoretical chemistry to biological objects and problems. Let me give you an example. Your body requires metabolism, chemical reactions to keep you alive. However, these reactions would take thousands of years to proceed. This is where enzymes come to play. Enzymes accelerate chemical reactions by more than 1 trillion-fold, that it speeds up chemical reactions that would otherwise take thousands of years in seconds. This is because of a phenomenon known as quantum tunneling. Basically, the enzymes encourage electrons and protons to vanish from one position in a biomolecule and instantly materialize in another, a quantum teleportation. Lastly on this list, exotic teleportation, also called the e-teleportation, allows the conveyance of persons or inanimate objects by transporting through extra space dimensions or parallel universes. Like Corridor Digital's YouTube Red series Lifeline, users would create a new parallel universe and teleport there, abandoning the old universe and further processing in the new one. This one might be possible in the distant future. Surprisingly, there were several attempts throughout the history to achieve teleportation. Most notable, the Philadelphia experiment, although widely believed to be a hoax, is one of them. As the story goes, during the deep days of World War II, a US Navy destroyer allegedly vanished from the waters outside of Philadelphia, only to reappear instantaneously hundreds of miles away. It was an accident, an error in an experiment only intended to hide the ship from view, but the result was fantastic and terrifying. Now, the question is, will we ever achieve teleportation in the future? Just like mankind always dreamt of flying, and finally became a reality after the Wright brothers' success. Maybe one day we will be able to achieve teleportation, and maybe even be the main source of transportation. Although there are many ways we could implement teleportation that could be of a great support to humanity's progress as an advanced civilization, I would definitely use it to go to school so I can have more time to sleep. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the near future.